just me or is there spinach in it? There's spaghetti models and empty rum bottles, and sometimes Louis says hi. Hey, Louis. But you don't get no hurries and don't have no worries, cause we're drunk donkey nationwide. Everybody now. Flies where the page. You know he'll be tracking every move that makes. You know it's flies where the page. You know he won't let us all get blown away. Did I ever tell you the story of the drunk donkey? Once upon a time, there was this weather woman. You can come as a pilot, you stay kind of quiet, but you know you love watching mice play. So put your cone head shirt on, watch it live on your phone, and drink drunk donkey beer all day. You go down, mice grab the page. You know he'll be tracking every move that makes. You know it's mice grab the page. You know he won't let us all get blown away. Is that Blobby Bobby? I think that's Juicy Jerry. Yeah, Mike, throw a party, man.
There you go. Good morning. What is up? There's my truck. That's the headlight. This was Ada. Back in 2020? My truck's been everywhere with me. It was with me yesterday. We were chasing storms here in Honeymoon Island, which you can see right here. The most amazing shelf cloud I ever seen in my life last night. It was unbelievable. It came in so fast off the Gulf of Mexico. It was unbelievable shelf cloud. 2 storm chases yesterday. Crazy me woke up at 3:30 yesterday morning. And then went back out there again around 1 o'clock. So that's probably why I slept a good 8-9 hours last night, which is a lot for me. All right, what's up, everybody? It's our daily brew. We love everyone and these morning interactions. We're one big happy weather family. Right, Chris? Raise up. There will be no daily brew tomorrow. We're heading off to softball weekend again up there in Newberry. But I'll be posting as normal. Just won't be a scheduled live tomorrow. But we got Tropical Depression 4 now. We'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about Brett, everything else in the world of weather. Lambs asked the 1 millionth question of the year. The notifications, I don't think anybody gets them anymore. It's beyond our control. So this is Hunter. So we did Louis Hunter. So we try to alternate dogs. He's the little guy. He's only 9 pounds. He's doing a lot better lately. He kind of purrs like a cat. That's what. The more I pet him, the more he sounds congested. It's the only cat Frenchie ever. Oh, what's up, Jamie? What's up there, Lisa? We're getting thunder here in Oldsmar. There's one little cloud of. I looked at the radar. You could barely even see it. It was out in the bay. So if you're getting thunder in Pinellas County, there's one little storm cloud out there. But the upper part of the state getting. We're going to show all that again. A fascinating low pressure system that's over Georgia, South Carolina right now. That's been there for a few days in Tennessee and fueling these storms. It's just crazy. And then it spins all the way from the Atlantic coast too. They're getting storms in South Carolina right now. So thank you, Lori. Yeah, we were out there storm chasing. it was quite quite the video. Right. So, all right. So our daily brew now going on its 1,000,000th year. I think we started doing these in 17 or 16, and ABC's been there with us for 5 years now. So this is my Friday. There's an ABC right off the exit at Newberry. I go to that one, so I'll be visiting that one in T minus 10 hours. 10 hours from now, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, 9 hours from now. Shelly says I was first live April 2016. That's pretty cool. All right, buddy. Well, we'll put you down. We got a lot of weather to talk about. Cute little guy, you know that? Littlest Frenchie on the planet. He's got to be. That's right. Get all your storm supplies at ABC. Fine wine and spirits. The best salsa selection in the planet. Cat 5 salsa, my favorite. Unbelievable. Hot. I love it. Let's say a few more hellos. This is the current radar. Low pressure is somewhere about right here now. So, man, just check it out, man. The flow is amazing to watch. How storms flow around these low pressure systems. Just fueling the storms. Big old glob of storms for the Florida Panhandle. Some of them are making it ashore. A lot of them are making through the state now. We got some strong ones there in South Carolina. Myrtle Beach area. Charleston probably getting some. Outer Banks getting some storms approaching you. Ricky Kernoodle. Kyle, great question. I love, we're going to read some stuff. I do attend a lot of conventions, actually. I've been lucky enough to be asked to speak at a lot of them. And the Governor's Hurricane Conference is my favorite. Cheers. Got an interesting request today. I spoke with them last year, but it is a TV station or a radio station. I have to remember. It is up in Knoxville. So if you live in Tennessee, now when I was on this a couple years ago, or I don't even remember when I was there. It's on 107.7, 98.7, and 99.1. I had people that lived up there that actually heard it. They're like, Mike, you are on our local radio station in Tennessee. So that's where I'm going to be. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern today. Here's that picture of the Honeymoon Island yesterday, by the way. There's the storm chaser. Oh, this is tremendous, man. Watching the waves rolling in from the southwest. That shelf cloud was just, it was amazing. I was like, I could not believe it. It was unbelievable, that shelf cloud. It was just incredible. Hurricane hunters are out there flying around. Here's some more video of it. That's going to go full screen. You won't see the whole thing, but look. That's just not like anything you've ever seen before. It was tremendous. A lot of beach erosion there at Honeymoon. So this was showing the walkway out to the beach, and obviously there's no beach. High tide was about the same time too, so that's kind of why that happened. But there you go. That was my Wednesday. All right, let's slowly roll into the tropics here. So a little disclaimer, I say it a lot, but I'm just a armchair quarterback, weather wannabe, not a professional. No official forecasting from me. Most know that, but I say it to the new people. National Hurricane Center here, National Weather Service, always refer back to them for official forecasts and updates. I am a social media ologist. Right. What's up, Mr. Eric? What time do the Rays play today? Kenneth, yeah, we've had high tides. I think a lot of it a lot of it's with these winds rolling in, really strong Gulf winds. Lambs, you're welcome. George, did they intensify it? I don't know. You mean the hurricane hunters are out there right now? Thank you, Mike, from my mother. Yeah, appreciate that. She had a great birthday. Caffeinate Mard. I like your name over there on YouTube. What's up, Mr. George Joseph? Appreciate that, Joseph. Yes, lots of sunny flooding in St. Pete tides. Yes, well, a lot of it, like I said, a lot of that's that wind flow. Kiki, what's up? Got your brew in hand? All right. 6:40 p.m., Eric. All right. That means that'll be my destination time to get to Newberry. The jam mark was phenomenal. Oh, my God. We're going back. Totally the family-friendly atmosphere. The whole Mark Sheldon, Rendy, the crew, everybody that runs it is the best. So, yeah, we're definitely... I'm not watching in the Speedo. Oh. All right, so let's take a look at things on our storms in the tropics. A couple weather things that happened yesterday. We had a really bad tornado in Texas and a Colorado hailstorm. A lot of people were injured at I think it was a concert. So it was a rough day weather-wise. Kathleen, that might be the tornado that we're talking about. Not really up on tornadoes in the Midwest. So, but there was a bad one, and there was a bad hailstorm. Those are two big weather headlines this morning. So, all right. So let's take a look here. Wave train time. Somebody sent me a graphic, like Soul Train. They made it wave train. Here's the latest 8 a.m. advisory. The winds of Brett are up to 70. It's very not. It looks. It just doesn't have that organizational look. There's some wind shear, but the hurricane hunters earlier found really low pressures. Now they're back out there, maybe not as low as they found, but the winds are definitely at 70. So it's only a few miles an hour shy of Hurricane Brett. Hurricane watches are up for middle part of the Lesser Antilles. Tropical storm warnings extend northward some because northern side of the storm's got a lot more wind. Expected to fizzle into the Caribbean. Officially fizzle, meaning no stacked organization. Still going to watch it as this thing goes this way. I'll talk about that in a little while. So there, places to watch. I think I mentioned it yesterday. Question mark will be if it maintains any sort of seed. I don't know what else you call it. The hurricane hunters are out there now, so you go to tropicaltidbits.com. He's got a great site for that. Pressure came up a little bit. That's interesting. So fluctuations in pressure. Not finding any stronger winds, but they're out there right now flying around. This is at. I need to redo the link. I got the link wrong. I got to fix that. So it's Tropical Tidbits Recon. I'll fix the link, and there you can go to the page and see all the data from the planes that are flying in there right now. So there you go. They'll find out what's going on. So rapid intensification. Almost zero chance this thing's going to do anything other than maybe a few miles an hour quicker or less. I mean, it definitely, more rain, obviously, for the islands. Here's a map here. Here's Barbados right there. There's your Lesser Antilles, and it's getting close. So they're expecting it later today. They're, this morning, definitely starting to feel some winds there. But yeah, looking kind of organized, right? We have another system behind it, Tropical Depression 4. Let's show you that one real quick, just for a preview. Then we'll talk a little bit more about it later. But there's Tropical Depression 4. They organized it overnight. Should pull off to the northeast, and it should weaken. So we'll look at that too. It's just still early. 3 people passed in that tornado. Oh, what is going on here? Oh man, we just got big rain just came out of nowhere. Big drops of rain. Holy cow. Whoa. You know that first just dumping rain. Holy cow. Mataderos, that's correct. That's the one. I saw some people actually doing some shirts on Twitter helping out. It looked bad. I saw a video. It was bad. Bad. Yeah, you can hear it. Yeah. Let's look at. So my favorite radar site is this one right here, Google Radar. If you don't have radar scope, the Google Radar is great. You can zoom right in, and there it is. Confirmation. Look at that one little guy. Hey, little guy, it's the hunter of thunderstorms. The one time that we had a really impressive water spout here back several years ago was right here. And, you know, you get that rapid convection burst in the morning. Water spouts seem like they're more in the AM hours across Florida, especially down the Keys. A lot of it's just a natural rising of the temperature differences, and I've tried to understand it. I kind of understand it, but that's what's happening over our head right now. One little guy. But if you go to the north, holy moly, look at this. Apalachicola getting some. Mr. Joe, you in here watching? Port St. Joe, my buddy Tyler, you up there? Scallops Cove. So those are tail end of that front. Look at that. We got some going up through Valdosta. Valdosta's had rain every day for like 3 weeks. We are getting some storms up here in Myrtle Beach now. These are storms coming off the Atlantic, so some can be kind of strong. Outer Banks getting some storms. So all this tied into this low pressure system. And here's our other system. I love this map, man. I can just play with this all day long. There's the data points for TD4 and tropical storm Brett. So according to Recon, things aren't any stronger. So Brett's maintaining tropical storm status. Key messages are always important to read. Heavy rain, strong winds, dangerous waves. Typical things you see with strong tropical storms. So that's that. Let's talk about future tracks and look at some models and give you an idea of what the future holds. So if we go to Weather Nerds, we're going to take a look at the whole basin. Some of that heavy convection is not as strong as it was earlier. A little dry air coming into it too. Remember we showed the dry air map yesterday? Always been some dry air to the north. A little bit getting in there. See it? Dry air. But let's put on the whole satellite here. Let's look at the whole region. It's incredible. So this is Weather Nerds. We'll take a look at that real quick and kind of show you what's going on. IR. And save image, and we'll zoom in on it. There we go. How about that? Cool. We'll leave it right there for a minute. Hey, speaking of drought, Evelyn, listen, my lake in the back, remember if you watch every day, it was the lowest it's ever been. It's to the banks. Mother Nature has evened herself out. I'm telling you, in Florida, I don't know about the rest of the country, but Florida, things even out. I don't know how it does it, at least in my lifetime. It always ends up back to normal, if there is a normal. Ian Campbell, how's Jamaica going down there? So Jamaica, Ian, you're going to get a little remnants of, we're going to talk about this all now right now, but you're going to get remnants of Brett. Probably first part of the week, maybe. Maybe Sunday. We'll talk about that. Then that wave behind. So nothing else officially being watched by the NHC, but interesting, right? We got 4 waves now out there, juicing up. But yeah, Evelyn, no, seriously, the drought is, let me show you real quick. If you're talking about us, meaning where I live too, but the drought situation, we get a new map today, Thursday. Let's see what it is. Hey, look at that. Almost over. This is our drought. Remember, we were in red. Extreme drought. Now we're just abnormally dry. But that's huge, watching this progression of the drought being gone in Florida. So it did indeed disappear. Hail in Ocala, I believe it. Let's take a look. I can look better on my radar scope on. I got to save that email. I can't forget to call the radio show. I'll be like, oh, I forgot. So hail of Ocala. Let's take a look. Oh, I believe it. There it is. Look. When you start looking at those colors there, the light purples and stuff, that's usually hail indicators. So you are correct. Hail. Hail. Ho! All right, let's talk about models. Had a great night, by the way, real quick. Upper Tampa Bay Chamber, talked to a lot of locals, so it was great meeting everybody last night. And, of course, it was hosted by our friends at Tampa Bay Brewing Company. I posted a picture of Mom's birthday party there, 83 years young. But had a great time hanging out with David and Major. Mr. Mayor Dan was there. Mayor Dan. not Lieutenant Dan, Mayor Dan. I love my little city. All right. So spaghetti. All right, let's look at spaghetti models real quick. We'll look at all the spaghetti models here. We'll just pull up Tropical Tidbits spaghetti models. Here they are. 12Zs just came out. We don't look at the HRRR. It's a terrible tracking model. And it didn't do very good on intensity either. So here's your official track. Weakening system. Weak goes west. Strong trade winds are your lower level winds, pushing weak systems westward. So far, trending towards Central America, and that's been the trend now for days. Going to talk about this in a little bit. Maybe some of this energy lingers behind, maybe curves up a little bit. Maybe. Waters are hot. We tried to pull this map up yesterday. Let's see if it's working today. Yeah. All right. So here's your Caribbean, Western Caribbean waters, and they're very warm. So if we had to watch for anything sneaky happening, it would be any sort of redevelopment of Brett. If it slowed down a little bit, got picked up maybe a little bit. But there's really nothing official. There are some ensembles showing it, though. I'm going to get into that here in a little bit. But anyway, for the main spaghetti models, there you go. Models for number 4. Models for 4. Hey, you know what? What? Kyle Weatherman is a race car driver, and he reached out a few times. Got the perfect name, Weatherman. He just announced he's got a ride with Junior Motorsports. So congratulations to Mr. Kyle Weatherman. What are they flooding? The same question. Sitting in the pool, Erica says. That's a little early for a pool, isn't it? All right, so here's the spaghetti models for 4. And same thing holds true. You know, anybody in the northern part of the islands there, Virgin Islands and stuff, will be keeping an eye on this thing. Because if it runs a little faster, runs a little weaker, these models could tick a little bit more to the west. But these are your latest Tropical Depression 4 models. And the steering currents up above that are pushing Brett west are going to slide over a little bit, allowing 4 to go northwest. So this is a great old school map here. This is your steering map. It pretty much kind of is always good. But as you can see, we got a big old high pressure system over top of Brett. And these upper level winds of a high pressure system, first off, they block any lows and highs do not attract. So the only path for Brett to go is below this high pressure system. Now, long range, this high pressure system is expected to weaken, slide a little bit, disappear maybe. I'm not sure. We'll look at that. But that's going to allow our system forward to turn a little bit more, as this high pressure won't be there in the next couple days. But down the road, the third wave that we're watching, this little guy, not marked by the NHC, but it looks like it's going to stick more of a west track, because that high will build back in. So that's pretty much that right there. I don't know what this guy is, or this guy, or this guy, or this guy. I mean, Africa is just full of juice. So my buddy Paul and the Brew Crew, we have a Brew Crew section for subscribers that support our page. It's a little private area that talks amongst themselves. He had a great question. So last year, we had a lot of Saharan dust. We have a lot of Saharan dust now. But the waves are coming off lower this year. Last year, it seemed like high pressure, our Bermuda high pressure that we talk about a lot, was like a little higher, and the waves came off a little bit more high, and this is basically where the dust is, usually like really heavy right here. So the waves last year, if I remember right, they just kept getting dried up because of the dust and the higher latitude a little bit. So far this year, the waves are coming off a little bit lower, kind of missing that dust. You know, makes sense, right? Plus, the waters are so much warmer than normal that they are just getting more fuel out there. Anytime you get warmer water. And here it is. I mean, this is your anomaly map, and just all this extra heat. So that's why the waves are sticking together. There's enough juice in the lower level. You know, sea surface temperatures are helping maintain convection in storms. Normally, that might be dried up by the dust. You know, we got a cool dust map here, animated dust map, and you can see the oranges and the yellows is dry air and dust, but you can see the waves are staying below that. And, you know, again, yeah, it doesn't look like June. I mean, I don't think we had any Cape Verde style storms last year, these waves. So this is interesting. I'm really surprised they didn't mark the third one, honestly, as an area to watch. I don't. Maybe it's because there's no models really showing it. Here's your lower level spin. It's because it doesn't really have any spin to it. It's more just a clump of storms right now, so there's really no spinach. You can argue. I mean, you could say it's trying. I mean, it's trying to have spinach. It's trying. A little bit of weak spinach. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But it's not marked, so I'm not going to worry about it. Long range. My nose itched. Long range. Oh, this is old school. They changed. Whoa, wait a minute. What's happened here? We got a new graphic. That's weird. Maybe they changed it. I don't know. It's different on my site. Did they just change it? That's a weird. That's odd. Why did I do that? Why is that image different? Huh. Here comes the thunder. That's weird. Just weird looking. Anyway, I don't know why this is showing up different. Huh. Well, anyway. There was a little highlighted area in the region for the end of June and July 4th that possibly could have been some tropical development yesterday. But I think the map is... They did something to the map? Oh, no. Huh. That's an old school map that came out of nowhere. I don't know where the heck that came out of. All right. Well, maybe they took it away. But anyway, all right. Well, now there's not a spot. They changed the gravity. It looks, yeah, I like it. It looked better. Cool look. All right, so now it's gone. Hey, good news, right? Hey, nobody wants to be a wishcaster. All right, let's look at the models. Let's take a look at everything. So we'll go chop out little tidbits. So nothing's really showing up as organizing to worry about. Brett's the only thing in town that we're kind of really watching, especially for, we got a lot of people watching in the islands. Here's what the old Euro's saying. What was that? Nothing. All right. It was a VIP email. It was special. All right. So here's the Euro. We got the two waves. This is Brett followed by TD4. We're kind of watching for anything down here. Same thing. It's like broken record from yesterday. Brett's going to stay low. There's a lot of wind shear expected in from the north. That's going to help dissolve Brett. The NHC is not giving it any chance of surviving that shear. There is 4 going off to the northwest. And pretty much Brett just kind of goes into Central America there. Now here's our next little juice spot coming through. Not really showing any development yet. So that's good news. And that's pretty much it. I mean, there it is. The icon really shows the 3 systems very well. Here is Sunday. So whatever's left of Brett will be here south of Jamaica. Close enough to Jamaica, Ian, Sunday. There's a chance you get some rain from Brett on Sunday. Here's 4, and here's our other wave. And, you know, this is what I keep talking about, the possibility that things kind of hang on over here. Pacific side definitely looking like it's going to kick off its season soon. But we'll see, you know, we'll see what Brett does. This is next Tuesday. And here's 4, and here's that wave behind it. So nothing, you know, nothing really showing up to worry about yet. So that's good news. Canadian model for over the weekend. Here's leftover Brett on Sunday, hanging out pretty far below Caymans and Jamaica. Here's 4 getting close to the Virgin Islands. Maybe some rain there on Sunday, Monday, and then here's our other system. Canadian picking it up a little better. This is that wave behind 4, showing some rains possibly into the islands. This is the 3rd wave, and this would be next Wednesday, Thursday. So that's a real possibility. You know, here's a front. So this is kind of everything in a nutshell. So 4 gets merged up here with a frontal line. It appears to be showing up. Now, you know, usually when you have a weakness, it'll pull up moisture upwards. So that's the outside chance of any leftover Bretts trying to be sneaky, because it does look like midweek next week we're going to have a frontal line that picks up 4, and you can kind of follow it right here. Well, I started pointing to my screen right here. I was like, right here, you see it. This is next Monday. Old leftover frontal line. Here's 4 leftover Brett, and you know, it makes sense, right? So 4 kind of turns up into it, and Brett just keeps on chugging along. I guess we could show the GFS just to see what it's cooking, although we don't like it very much. All right, same thing. Fizzles out Brett, turns 4, actually develops it. Not good for Bermuda. So the National Hurricane Center says the depression, by the time it gets closer to Bermuda next midweek, our great GFS model showing a 977 hurricane. So I think I'll stick to the National Hurricane Center for that one. When no other models showing that. What is up with the GFS? Terrible. Here's the old Navy model. Navy model. So the Navy turns Sunday old Brett upwards a little bit into Cuba. Navy, not a very good model. But it's worth showing it to you. So all eyes on Brett for sure. Very curious to see the decoupling of Brett as it enters that wind shear of the Caribbean. All right, let's look at some ensembles here. I like to look at ensembles. And the ensembles are great to look at. They kind of give you a different perspective on possibilities. So we'll pull this up here. We'll just keep it more tropical Atlantic. That ain't going to work. Gulf of Mexico. This kind of covers everybody. All right. I like it. All right, so these are all the 51 members of the Euro that have all the different scenarios. What's up? Well, Jamie says, too early for storms. I agree. What's up, Mr. Tom Baffa? Navy, what's up, Miss Bobby? Bobby Blobby. Yeah, a lot of chat, Shelly. I don't know why. We didn't have this much chat during the end, I don't think. Jamie says that 97-mile winds at Houston last night. I know that they had a bad... I do have a history radar site. Let's see if it shows it. Why would it be down here? Yesterday's radar. So this was... yesterday. Oh, it only goes to 7 p.m. That might be the building of the storm right there. But yeah, I got the link on there. Yesterday's radar. It's kind of interesting, right? Here's that bow that came in that I was watching. But this is kind of neat. I mean, this one only goes back to 7 p.m. It probably will get updated deeper in the day. So fascinating. Look at this. This is so amazing. So again, nothing official with this one yet, but this one's going, whoops, shouldn't draw it that way. Let me do this more like that. This one's doing that. And then this one's probably doing that. But this one's not marked yet. But going back to the ensembles, if I can find them, where the heck are they? Have so many things open all the time. I can never find the dang thing. There, did I open it up? There. All right. So we'll talk about these ensembles for a minute. So most of them are showing old. It's important on this map when I share it. You can see the green up here. This is a little chart showing your pressures of each member. So you can see most of them are green, which is, tropical storm range. And most of them fizzle it out, keeping it weak in that light gray section, which means, not even organized. But there's a few start to pull it north. This is the only possibility of I'm watching, just sneaky common sense places that make sense that could sneak in. A lot of support that TD4 misses the islands on the ensemble. So, so far, and most have it turning. There are one or two members showing development still for Bermuda. One or two out of 51. So, definitely Bermuda, you want to keep an eye on TD4. 100% keep an eye on it. Officially, the NHC has it fizzling to a tropical depression by the time it gets close to you. Tropical depression. So, but it is expected to turn, maybe affecting Bermuda midweek. Let's look at some shear forecasts for next week. Close out some windows here. So we'll go look at some shear. So they changed the imagery on that a little better. But anyway, they're not showing any area now. So that's good news. So maybe a little break entering July 4th. Cannot believe July 4th weekend is almost here. Where in the heck did the time go? And Daytona Beach NASCAR let me down. We used to have the NASCAR race on July 4th. We used to go camp for the week. It was so fun. Now they moved it to the end of August when the kids are back to school. Hurricane season. So that's not our tradition anymore. Big bummer. Good thing for the Caribbean, though, at least, is Brett's still moving along at a good pace, so there's no, stopping. It is slowed down a little bit, 15 miles an hour. I remember one time it was 21 miles an hour. NHC still keeping it at 70 miles an hour. Hurricane watches are up in that pink. You can always zoom in when you go to the interactive page on the NHC site if you want to, and you can get really close, which is great. You can change the color of the map a little bit. So if you're wanting to zoom in a little bit more, and this is kind of important, this is the wind field, and they have a legend down here. That's, up to 39 miles an hour. This is your up to, or 39 miles an hour or greater, 58 or greater in the limeish color. So that's why we have hurricane watches up for St. Lucia, Martinique, and Dominica. Did I say that right? I know we got somebody watching down there. If you're watching down there, please say hey. I just think it's so amazing that these little islands out here, way down here, these little islands, the power of the internet can watch us. It's so fascinating, man. Which one of these islands did Gilligan end up at? Question for... Did you like Marianne better or Ginger better? That was always a debate, right? Then I ended up with a redhead. Hey, what's up, Miss Mary Cross? Trisha, no concern for Key West. There's nothing out there at all right now to worry about as far as continental U.S. goes. Our main focus is the Brett, and that's it for anything that should be concerned. What was interesting yesterday, Shelly's tired of the rain. The temperatures heated up so much quicker yesterday. Like when we were tracking that storm in the morning, it was 83 in the morning at 3:30 in the morning, like 83, and then it went down to 73, and then dumped off Sarah to mom and dad so I can go chase that storm at Honeymoon Island, and the temperatures were already back up to 88, and that was around noontime. So amazing how we had remember I was showing yesterday, we had a little dry air that snuck in around these two weather systems, and that enough dry air destabilized things enough that we had a second round, which is so rare in Florida. I don't know, like for you, but I remember growing up, it never seemed like it rained twice in one day. Like you set your clock. I used to ride my bike with my friends. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, living in Bradenton, Florida, you could see that line coming in from the central parts of the state, heading west. That was classic Florida. Like it just seems like it did that every day, and maybe it didn't, but it seems like it did to me because I would go in, we would eat dinner, 5 o'clock, wait for the rains. We'd go out and play back in the street, riding bikes in the puddles in the roads, and splish splashing around, and the frogs, and I remember all that as a kid. It's like amazing to think back memories. That was the routine, and it would cool down. I remember it was nice and cool out. The afternoon thunderstorms come through and absorb all that heat, leave it for a nice evening, and guess what? It did it all over again tomorrow. It's like now, it's like you don't know what you're going to get. Remember that? It's like a box of chocolate, like Forrest said. I don't know. Some will say it's always been that way, but I don't know. I remember as a kid it was not that way. I remember things were pretty consistent growing up. That was our cue to go home and eat dinner. And go back out again. Here's your wind maps. It's kind of neat to see two systems. It's really rare to see two systems in June like that. Let's see what else. More heat for Texas. They're under an extreme heat warning all the way through the 28th, all the way for Louisiana. That heat's going to push north into Arkansas, Oklahoma, and the Mississippi some. So extreme heat. It is summer. Hurricane Hunter's still flying out there. Yep, getting ready to do another center check. Don't see any big wind barbs. Doesn't look like it's gotten any stronger. That's about it, man. Let's talk about the weather ahead. So, we look at things like the MJO. MJO, favorable coming up in the next week. So if there were, if old Brett leftovers did make it to the Caribbean, the hot water along with things like the MJO will be helping enable storms. So, we'll see. Let's look at tropical tidbits and look at some of the Canadian ensembles for Brett. There's Brett for the Canadian. Canadian, not a great model. But when it comes to ensemble, sometimes you look at it. But you can see a couple random ones pulling up. A little bit more into the BOC, maybe Texas, but that's not the official forecast. This is leftover Brett. But you can see the Canadian pulling it up a little bit. Again, I'm not even going to bother posting that scenario because it would definitely look like you're being a wish caster. But there's your GFS ensemble showing, a few of them going north. But I tease it in the brew. That's what we do. Well, look at that incredible outflow there. It's not meaning it's actually not signs of strengthening. It's just wild to look at. A lot of dry air coming down into the scene. So it definitely doesn't look like it's getting any stronger. I don't know. I don't see any wind bar. I don't see anything on the hurricane data that's going to suggest this thing becoming a hurricane on approach. So we'll wait and see. 11 o'clock, there's a new advisory coming out from the NHC. And we'll see what they say. Let's look at future radar. So the daily rainfall totals, I've been teasing this. The weekend looks good. So we got this low pressure. So when I say low pressure over Georgia and South Carolina this morning, this is what it looks like on the wind maps. But this is it. We had this yesterday. Basically a low pressure area that was over Tennessee and Kentucky. And this is what's helping fuel these storms. And you can see the storms this morning, right? Follow that. That's exactly what's going on. It's so fascinating. This is going to eventually... It's stuck on my mouse. Get off. Shoo. It's like flypaper. But it's crazy, right? And if you're wondering why the tides are up, if you're living along this area here, we just had a persistent winds, So that's why the tides are up. The Gulf is incoming, and I'm sure they're up a little bit here in the Charleston area too. They always get high tides and floods, but there's the wind flow pattern. But as the weekend goes, the good news is that all right, Storm Prediction Center map for today. Let's take a look at that. This is kind of good news for everybody, right? Storm Prediction Center map for today, dark green, meaning we could have some intense storms. But look, we go to day 2. Light green, that's tomorrow, Friday. Saturday, light green. Obviously, storms in the Midwest. We got a really wacky jet stream pattern that's doing that, fueling things. But weekend looks pretty good as far as strong storms go. You're always going to get rainy conditions in the summer, but as far as severe storms goes, it's good news. Here's the rainfall totals today. You can follow that big old jet stream dip here. It's fascinating, right? I love seeing that. It's crazy. Day 2 tomorrow. There's, Friday's still going to get some rain, but watch what happens on the weekend. A little less. This is afternoon stuff here, normal stuff. And Sunday still looks like the best day for the south, southeast, east coast. So things definitely Saturday, Sunday. So, overall pattern has shifted a little bit And there's a front coming through. This is that front next midweek, that A. Right here, this is the front that pushes that low out of the way. This is the front that ultimately turns TD4 away towards Bermuda. So there you go. Amanda, I did talk about all the storms behind Brett. Where you been? You have to go back and watch. All right, well, let's see. Yeah, it's hot, Jamie, in Texas. Let's do, have you seen my new favorite beer? Look at this. Have you ever seen a hurricane on a beer can? It's so awesome. It's Tropical Depression. I'm taking the 4-pack with me tonight to watch the Rays. And I think it's like 8%. So I might not make the whole game. But I've been saving it for our trip tonight. I got a little water. Let's see, Eric, I got my Rays cup. My morning tradition is a cup of coffee and a big old glass of water. All right, let's talk about the heat. Let's talk about the radar coming up. So let's look at the 12Z HRRR. I have it linked up here too, by the way. I tell everybody, listen, the most important model daily, hourly is right there. Click on that and you get the same thing I'm going to show you here. I love the HRRs. So here's the flow of storms today. What we're going to get across the southeast. Let's just kind of keep it tucked into the Gulf Coast here. Here's the radar for the next 48 hours. You're going to see this low pressure spinning. You're going to see storms coming in throughout today and tomorrow, and you're going to all the way to Saturday here. We're going to see, but there's the storms today. So we're going to see a line of storms going in North Carolina. That line of storms we're seeing now is going to actually push towards North Carolina. This is early afternoon. Storms are going to still be going up north. I know, right? Like, uncle, enough. Could have storms down South Florida, but this is what we're watching today, afternoon. Then we get our normal afternoon stuff start popping here across the state. More storms in behind off the Gulf. So there you go. Could be a line of storms overnight setting up through the coast again. This is overnight tonight. So basically just nonstop southeast Florida and even the Carolinas through tomorrow at least. So here's tomorrow morning right here. And, you know, repeat pattern. That low pressure still hanging on. A little bit of storms tomorrow morning for the Outer Banks and eastern parts of the Carolinas. More storms tomorrow morning hanging around there down in Florida. You know, we got a big old, you know, look at this line right here. I mean, this is all connected to that jet stream. But we can see some storms overnight tonight into tomorrow developing. This is more tomorrow. So this is more daytime Friday. But here it is. This is tomorrow afternoon. We got storms developing down through Texas, Houston again. It might get down to the, Louisiana. So this is tomorrow evening. More storms. There you go. I mean, that's just crazy. So the same pattern for 2 days at least, and then by Saturday things slow down a little bit. Temperatures real quick. Let's look at this heat index for today. It's going to be incredible again. There's triple digits for Texas, 103. Not too bad across the rest of the South and the East Coast here. This is a heat index. Not bad at all, actually. That tomorrow more of the same. Texas is just hot. We've been talking a lot about it. We're going to get pretty hot tomorrow down in South Florida. Look at Friday. 102, 101 heat index down in South Florida. That's going to help pop some storms. It is summer. All right, well, let's see. What else can we talk about? Oklahoma storms. Katie, nothing in the Bahamas, I don't believe, today. Just normal stuff coming in from the southeast. Let's zoom in on you here and take a look. So you kind of see the flow a little bit. What's up, Hunter? You good boy? He's looking at Louie like, play with me. So, you know, if northern part of the Bahamas, if that's where you're at, it's a whole lot better than the lower part. That's current storms, lightning. There's our system too. Now one thing to note, looking at the lightning map here with Brett, overnight there was a lot of lightning. We had some convective bursts overnight. But what you might notice here in the last several frames, the lightning has decreased some, which kind of indicates the intensification that they saw overnight might have peaked. If you see a lot of lightning developing in these convective bursts, then that normally means pressures are trying to drop and you're getting more storms and winds. But we're not seeing that. So Brett might have reached peak at 70 miles an hour. We'll see. How deep is the record Atlantic water temp? Can the early normal storms agitate the water surface enough to lower this temp? Yeah, so Michael's just basically talking about water temp. So my big question is, will the water temps level out? Yes, these storms will cool the waters some, but we're so high, we're 4 or 5 degrees above normal now. Will that mean that we're 4 or 5 degrees above normal in August, September? I don't think so. I don't know how the water could do that. So, the thinking could be early, active season before peak because of these water temps, and then maybe kind of level out to average once the water temperatures, average out. And we're going to be entering the heart of El Nino with wind shears. So, with El Nino coming, we get less storms. So, could see a slower tail end of the roller coaster. Doesn't mean we're not going to see anything strong. Trust me. We've done this on the show too many times. During El Nino years, we still have major hurricanes. Almost every El Nino year that we pulled up had major hurricane or two that year. So you can't let your guard down because it's El Nino. It just means we're going to have less storms. As Mr. Bob says, it only takes one. Correct. And it seems like every year now we've had that one, Every year, man, it just seems like every year or so we get one or two that stand out. And it doesn't matter how many, it's just that one or two that stand out. Michael, 1983. 1983, there was only 4 storms in 83. 4 storms. And it was Houston, right? Major Hurricane Alicia. And we only had 4 storms that year. Michelle, hope you have a great day. I don't know, Ed. Hey, I do know some of the guys that work there, though, on their disaster response team. I met them down at the GHC. Great guys. John up in New Jersey. Hey, man. How you doing, buddy? Cantori. How is old Charleston? Yeah, you're getting this upper level low too. Let's look at tide charts for Charleston. Charleston. Do it over here. Charleston. Let's see what comes up. Charleston, South Carolina. So your high tide is 11:55 this morning. And overnight at midnight. I'm trying to see the map I'm looking for. I can't remember. This is river maps, I think. I think this is the one I want. I can't remember. There's a couple. Yeah, these are rivers. Interesting. Some of these hurricane maps we use are still active right now, showing you possible, surge levels. So according to this, tides are definitely high in Savannah with the winds blowing like they are. This is 3 feet above normal. So we got anybody living up that neck of the woods? That's just that flow of winds. I wonder, it doesn't really show us, so I guess it does a little bit. It makes sense. 2 feet above normal right now. It's about right. That's where I was at yesterday, right here, Honeymoon Island. And that's about right. It's about 2 feet above normal. That makes sense. Bigger surge going on up here in the Big Bend area. And this map just definitely makes sense, especially when you're looking at the lower level winds right now. Surface winds. Surface winds are, blowing in, and Hunter's getting worked up. Sounds like a tack dog. Dale, good question. Wants to know why there's no focus on Africa weather. I do see a lot of people talking about it. Their monsoonal season. I see it. You're right. There's not a lot of chatter about it. I do have a link from Weather Underground. I think it is. It has a African satellite map. I know Shelley likes to look at the Indian Ocean. Kind of gives an idea what Africa is going to get. Again, I like to look back at these long-range precipitation maps that a lot of people have, but they're also on Tropical Tidbits. You look at your monthly precipitation maps, and you'll see here, like for the month of July. Can we get into? I wonder if we can do Africa on here. Northern Africa. So there. So you can go Tropical Tidbits, man. Dale Hogan. Great question, though. But this is your anomaly map for precipitation for Africa in July, showing you they're going to have more thunderstorms, long range. August, a lot more anomalies showing up, meaning more rain. So, this, again, the mean is 0, meaning average years of rainfall potential. So, basically, we don't really look at out there for October as much, but September, there's a lot of that showing up. And if we go back to the tropical Atlantic, North Atlantic here, you can see like the month of July, it's predicted a lot of moisture above normal, which, I've been saying, if I had to say the places to watch this year more than anywhere, it would be the Western Atlantic, Eastern Seaboard. Sirius is calling me. That's because I owe money. I had a credit card that you've heard the story. I talked about it before, but the credit card, I had to get a new credit card. So all these automatic debits, that's like the last one. And I told Julie, I'm like, I listen to Pandora so much, man. I just don't know if I want to keep it. I never listened to it. I have like 16 channels in her car that I can rotate, and I end up going to Pandora every single time. So I don't know if I'm going to renew it. It's a lot of money. And I love Pandora. So now they're calling me. But anyway. So there's July. August, above average a little bit in September. So, the effects of El Nino should keep things drier across the Caribbean if we have a big wind shear down here. So that's kind of what's expected during an El Nino year, is this region right here drier than normal. So this is September. Doesn't mean something homegrown here can't go around the top side or get into that Gulf. Another model map is SIPs here. And here is July for SIPs. And there is your moisture, August. Very wet. So, August. You didn't have anything in August last year. Remember July? So, Mother Nature's funny, right? So, last year we had nothing in July and August. Remember that longest stretch ever? I think it was August 30th when we finally got something. So, according to this, August could have a lot of moisture out here, which could mean stuff to watch. August there, September. And like I said, then of course October, we showed this before. This is not where you want to see increased moisture, because these are the ones that pull up and make you watch late season October storms. So I don't know how accurate these things are. Just like those intensity maps, I don't like using them. They're just all over the place. Hurricane hunters, let's see what they found. Still out there flying. No big winds yet. I don't think we're going to see anything. I don't think we're seeing any intensification by Brett, so might have reached its peak. As we wait patiently for it to open. There we go. Yeah, see, you're losing the larger cloud tops. So, but it could be going through a cycle too. I mean, that's what they do. But it's not getting any stronger. So that's good news. And there's our heat warning, excessive heat warning for South Texas today. And there you go. What did you think about that? Anyway, hope everybody has a great. Amanda'd be a good sponsor. I don't know. I think we're maxed out with supporters. We like to keep it very intimate. We got a little mix of local supporters, and we got a little mix of national supporters. Obviously, Tammy with the OSR have been around a long time with us. They're the first ones usually on the scene after a storm to assess power lines down, areas that need looked at first. So usually they communicate to the power companies where to go. So they're on the field in every storm helping out. Obviously, our great friends at Furman got a new fast response team this year that they're going to be on the road. I might be with them after the storm, and they're there to help with people with their power generators and all their needs on the ground. So that's going to be interesting to team up with OSR and Furman after a storm together. We have our great friends at Lodging Solutions, many years with us. They're the first ones to build these massive tent cities that have showers, kitchens, bedding. So basically, power line companies, let's say TECO, if we had a storm coming, they'll call up Lodging Solutions, Bolton Holdings here, and they'll say, we need 5,000 beds, they call them. I don't even know what the official word is. So they provide 5,000 homes away from home overnight. Air conditions, sometimes showers. Like I said, they cook for them. They have clean sheets. I mean, where do all these linemen go, right? So it's a fascinating industry that I didn't even know existed. And this is what they look like. They show up during, these storm events. And they also go to fires, not just hurricanes, all natural disasters. Then we have our good friends, Coastal Claims, Frank and crew. They help sponsor our NASCAR. They're here in Florida. Got to have an insurance company that helps you get help, insurance adjuster. So they'll be your middleman between the insurance company and you. So they'll make sure that as a public adjuster, you'll get as much as you can after a storm. So first ones you want to call there. We got Decks and Docks, which builds the most amazing seawalls that we found out after Ian and Nicole. Not only docks and decks, but they also do seawalls, which is very important in our world of weather, for sure. Locally, we got Done Right Roofing here. A lot of sponsorship in our area with softball, local Palm Harbor events. So it's cool to have a local company like this. So definitely, if you're in Clearwater, Pinellas, Pasco, Hillsboro, give them a call. We love them to death. And of course, we have many others who'll share info when the time is needed. So there you go. All right. We'll end it with my picture here in my truck. Let's pull it up. All right. So listen, we will... Oh, somebody's going to Coco Cay. I love Coco Cay. We actually... there you go, Jason. How you doing, buddy? The Firm and Fast team. Man, you bounce around from Facebook to YouTube. What did we rent? What was that thing called, Shelly? We rented a cabana at Coco Cay. Oh God, it was awesome. The coolest thing ever. And if you get 10 people, you can split it up, and it really isn't that much money. And they come and they feed you. They brought lobster. They had a cooler full of beer. Good times. Well, have fun out there. Stephanie, what's up? Panama City. Say hey to Mr. Mayor Mark. All right. Over the Water Cabana Club. All right, cool. All right, well, I'm going to update things. Remember, we're streaming live on... somebody's been spotted at 10:32. Who's that? Was that Emily? Did Emily leave just now? I love technology. Yeah, it's not. So don't forget we're streaming live, and I'll always update the link on the main page. You can watch it on the main page. Do a little TikTok video here in a second. Do a little tropical update there. Probably not a YouTube video tonight. There's really nothing. I might do one maybe before I leave town. No, we're gonna do. No. Not too much to talk about right now. All right, cool. Ramble on. Have a great day, Mr. Mike Sherman. How's it going? Good to see you from out west. All right, cool. Well, as always, everybody, thank you so much. Great week. If you're in Nashville, I'll be on the radio at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Or Chattanooga, I can't remember. Somewhere in Tennessee. So that'll be fun. All right, we'll see you all Monday, 9/19, all right?